Hello my dear students, we are moving to the next lesson today. It is work, energy and power. The first unit contains three main concepts: work, energy and power. Let's look what is work. In our daily life, when we are doing various activities like writing, reading, etc., we say that we are doing work. But in physics, work is used in a specific sense. Work is said to be done only when the body moves under the influence of a force. If there is no displacement of the body due to the force, then no work is said to be done, or work is said to be zero. For example, when a man standing by holding his bag on his hand does not do any work since the bag has no displacement. But when he walks with the bag, he does the work since it has displacement. Hence, no work is done when a man pushes the wall because the push of a man does not enough to move the wall. So the amount of work done depends on two factors: the magnitude of force and the displacement of the body in the direction of force. Hence, we can conclude that the amount of work done is equal to the product of force and the displacement traveled by the body in the direction of force. Let me conclude. The work is said to be done when the body moves because of the force exerted. And the work depends on the magnitude of force and displacement traveled by the body in the direction of force. Or work can be defined as the product of force and the displacement in the direction of force. Now, it is not necessary that the force produces displacement in the direction of force always. In such cases, the work is measured by taking the component of force in the direction of displacement or by the component of displacement in the direction of force. Now, let us look how to find out the component of displacement in the direction of force and the component of force in the direction of displacement. Consider a man pushing a box along an inclined plane of length S. The man is giving a force in this direction, which is along AB, and the box travelled along AC, which is a direction different from the force applied. Now, the work done is equal to force into displacement in the direction of force. Here, the displacement of the box in the direction of force is from A to B. To find out the value of AB, we can take the trigonometric functions. Here the angle between the direction of force and the direction of displacement is theta. And when we take the trigonometric functions, sin theta is opposite side by hypotenuse and cos theta is adjacent side by hypotenuse. So from this figure, we can know that AB is the adjacent side. So cos theta is equal to adjacent side AB by hypotenuse is AC. So that we can write AB is equal to AC cos theta. What is the value of AC? that is S, the length of the inclined plane. So it is S cos theta. When we apply it here, we will get F into S cos theta. So work is equal to Fs cos theta. So if the force and the displacement is making an angle, we will get the equation as Fs cos theta. The same expression we can find from the component of force in the direction of displacement. Here, in this case, a man is dragging a trolley bag along a horizontal surface, and he moved the bag through a distance S by applying a force in this direction, and the force and the displacement make an angle theta. In this case, work is equal to displacement into force in the direction of displacement. What is the force in the direction of displacement? Here, the force in the direction of displacement is this. When we take the trigonometric functions, this is F cos theta, because F is the hypotenuse of this triangle and theta is the angle between the force and displacement. So this is F cos theta. So when we apply the value in this equation, we will get S into F cos theta. Again, it can be written as Fs cos theta. Hence, the expression for work done by a force in the direction other than the direction of displacement is Fs cos theta. Let's look some special cases related to this expression. If a force F is applied on a body and the body travels along a distance S in the direction of force, then the angle between the force and displacement theta is equal to 0. Now, our expression W is equal to Fs cos theta becomes Fs cos 0. What is the value of cos 0? It is 1. So, we can write it as F into S. So, when force is in the direction of displacement or displacement is in the direction of force, the work done is equal to F into S. Suppose a force is applied in this direction and the displacement is along this direction, then here what is the angle between the force and displacement? It is 90 degree or it is perpendicular, is it? In this case, theta is equal to 90 degree and W is equal to Fs cos 90. The value of cos 90 is 0, so it is 0. Here, no work is said to be done. That means, if the direction of displacement is perpendicular to the direction of force, then no work is said to be done because cos 90 is equal to 0. In all uniform circular motion, the work done at any instant is 0 because in uniform circular motion, the centripetal force is acting towards the center and the displacement is always tangential to the circular path. Hence, the force and displacement makes an angle of 90 degree. So, there are two conditions for a work to be 0. That is, if the displacement is 0 and if the displacement is perpendicular to the direction of force. Now, if a force is applied along this direction and the body moves in opposite direction, the angle between the force and displacement is 180 degree, and hence here theta is equal to 180 degree and work W is equal to F into S cos 180. The value of cos 180 is minus 1, so it is minus F into S. In this case, work is said to be negative. So, work is said to be negative when the force and displacement are in opposite direction. Work is a scalar quantity and this negative work only means that the force and displacement are in opposite direction. For example, when we lift a bag from the ground, we are doing a work which is against the gravitational force. Here, the gravitational force does a work which is negative because the body moves in the direction of the force which we are applied. So, whenever we are lifting something vertically upwards, the gravitational force, the work done by gravity is negative. Let me give you some more examples. When a coolie does work on a load, when he rises it up against the force of gravity, because both the force exerted by the coolie and the displacement are in upward direction. But the gravitational force does a negative work because the body moves in the direction opposite to the gravitational force. When a porter carrying a load moving in a horizontal direction, he does no work against gravity because the displacement of the box is horizontal to the surface. But he is doing work against friction there. When a body moves on a surface, the force of friction between the body and the surface is in the direction opposite to the motion because friction always acts in opposite direction of the motion. Thus, the work done by the force of friction is negative. Let's do one numerical. A body when acted upon by a force of 10 kg force get displaced by 0.5 meter. Calculate the work done by the force when the displacement is in the direction of force at an angle 60 degree and normal to the force. Here, a force is applied on a body and the value of force is 10 kg force, and in the first case, the body moves in the direction of force at a displacement of 0.5 meter. When we convert this kilogram force into Newton, it is 10 into 10 which is equal to 100 Newton because the value of G is given as 10 Newton per kilogram. Hence, 100 Newton force is acting and the body displaced in the direction of force through a displacement of 0.5 meter. Hence, W is equal to Fs cos 0 because force and displacement is in same direction. Hence, it is equal to 100 into 0.5 into cos 0 is 1. Hence, we will get the value as 50 joule. In the second case, a force is applied and the value of force is 100 Newton and the body displaces in this direction and the direction of force and displacement is 60 degrees, it is given. So, direction of force and the displacement is 60 degree. Therefore, theta is equal to 60 degree and W is equal to F into S cos 60. Hence, 100 into displacement is 0.5 meter into cos 60 is 1 by 2. Hence, we will get the value as 50 by 2 is equal to 25 joule. In the third case, a force is applied in one direction and the body travels in a direction which is perpendicular to the force. Hence, theta is equal to 90 degree. Therefore, here theta is equal to 90 degree and W is equal to Fs cos 90, which is 0 because cos 90 is 0. Now, let's look the different units of work. The SI unit of work is joule and it is abbreviated as capital J. As we all know, work is equal to force into displacement. The unit of force is Newton and the SI unit of displacement is meter. Hence, Newton meter is termed as 1 joule. Hence, we can define 1 joule as it is the work done by a force of 1 Newton when it displaced a body through 1 meter in the direction of force. Once again, 1 joule work is said to be done when a force of 1 Newton displaces the body through 1 meter in the direction of force. Now, in CGS system, the unit of work is erg. And in CGS system, W is equal to F into S. The force, the unit of force is dyne and the unit of distance is centimeter. So, 1 dyne centimeter is taken as 1 erg. So, 1 erg can be defined as 1 erg work is said to be done when a force of 1 dyne moves the body through 1 centimeter. Now, 1 joule is equal to 1 Newton into 1 meter. What is 1 Newton? It is 10 raised to 5 dyne. And what is 1 meter? It is 10 raised to 2 centimeter. On combining, we can write 10 raised to a raised to m into a raised to n. 10 raised to 5 plus 2 dyne centimeter. That is 10 raised to 7 dyne centimeter can be written as erg. This is the relation connecting joule and the erg. 1 joule is equal to 10 raised to 7 erg. Now, we can learn the expression for work done by gravity. Force due to gravity is an important force which acts all the bodies in the earth. And due to the force due to gravity, the body gets weight. So weight is the effect of force due to gravity. Now consider a body falling freely under gravity from a height h above the ground, and the mass of the body is m. Or a body dragged from a sloping surface through a distance s. In both the cases, the body moves due to gravitational force, and the gravitational force is a force which always acts vertically downwards. If h is the height, the displacement in the direction of gravitational force is h in both these cases. And if the body is having a mass m, then the work done by the gravitational force is equal to force into displacement. Here, force is the force due to gravity, and the effect of force due to gravity is the weight of the body. So what is weight? Weight is equal to mass into gravity. So force can be written as mass into gravity. And here what is the displacement? Here the displacement in the direction of force is the vertical height. Irrespective of the path, it is the vertical height because the gravitational force acts always vertically downwards. So here S is equal to H. Hence, the work done by the gravity is equal to F into S, which is taken as mgh. This is the expression for work done by the gravity. Let's look one example. A boy of mass 40 kg climbs up the stairs and reaches the roof at a height 8 meters in 5 seconds. Calculate the force of gravity acting on the boy and work done by him against the force due to gravity. Here, a boy of 40 kg weight climbs the stairs of vertical height 8 meters. Calculate the force due to gravity of the boy. Here the force due to gravity means the weight, that is m into g. The value of mass is 40 and g is 10, hence it is 400 Newton. Now the next is, what is the work done by gravity? Work done by gravity is mgh, and where h is the vertical height from the ground. Hence it is 40 into 10 into 8, that is 3200 joule. We are moving to the next concept, that is power. Power is the rate of doing work, or power is equal to work by time. So power spent is equal to the amount of work done by time taken to do the said work. Power is equal to work by time. So power depends on two factors, the amount of work done and the time taken to do the work. The power is said to be greater if the given work is done with less time, or more work is done with the given period of time. In both the cases, we will say that the power is greater. So, to say that the power is greater, either the given work should be done with less time, or more work should be done in a given time interval. The unit of power is watt. And as you all know, the unit of work is joule and the unit of time is second. So, unit of power is watt, which is equal to joule per second, or joule per second is termed as watt. So, 1 watt can be defined as the power spent in doing the work of 1 joule in 1 second, or 1 watt is the power spent by a body if 1 joule work is done in 1 second. Once again, 1 watt is the power spent by a body when 1 joule work is done in 1 second. Now, the power has some smaller unit, that is milliwatt. The prefix milli means 10 raised to minus 3. So, it is 10 raised to minus 3 watts. 10 raised to minus 3 watts is milliwatt. And then is microwatt, and it is 10 raised to minus 6 watts. The unit of power in CGS system is erg per second. As you all know, the SI unit of power is watt, which is joule per second, and the CGS system, what is 1 joule? 1 joule is 10 raised to 7 erg. Hence, 1 watt is 10 raised to 7 erg per second. There is another important unit of power which is used in mechanical engineering, that is horsepower. Horsepower is written as HP. 1 horsepower is equal to 746 watts. 1 horsepower is equal to 746 watts. Once again, the important units of power are joule per second, which is termed as watts. Then the smaller units are milliwatts, which is 10 raised to minus 3 watt. Microwatt, which is 10 raised to minus 6 watts. In CGS system, it is erg per second. 1 joule per second or 1 watt is equal to 10 raised to 7 erg per second, and 1 horsepower or HP is equal to 746 watts. So once again, power is equal to work by time. And what is work? Work is force into displacement. So we can write force into displacement by time. Is it? Now, the displacement by time is taken as velocity. We know that velocity is equal to displacement by time. Hence, we can write power is equal to force into velocity. This is the other equation used for power. Power is equal to force into velocity. So, power is the rate of doing work. So, it is work by time. The other expression for power is force into velocity. The SI unit of power is watt and the CGS unit of power is erg per second. 1 horsepower is equal to 746 watts. Now, what are the difference between work and the power? Work done by a force is equal to the product of force and the displacement in the direction of force. And the power of a source is the rate of work done by a source. Work done is not depending on time, but the power spent depends on the time in which the work is done. The SI unit of work is joule and the SI unit of power is watts. Here I will give you an example. A weightlifter lifted a load of 200 kilogram force at a height of 2.5 meter in 5 seconds. Calculate the work done and the power developed by him. Take G is equal to 10 Newton per kilogram. Here, the weight lifter lifts a load of 200 kilogram force to a height of 2.5 meter. Hence, the work done. He is lifting the work against gravity. Hence, the work done must be mgh. The weight of the load is 200 kilogram force. That means mass is 200 kilogram. Hence, it is 200 into G is 10 into 2.5, which is equal to 5000 joule. Now, the power spent. What is power? Power is equal to work by time. Here work is 5000 joule and the time taken is 5 seconds. Hence, power will be 1000 watts. An ox can apply a maximum force of 1000 Newton. It is taking part in a cart race and is able to pull the cart at a constant speed of 30 meters per second while making its best effort. Calculate the power developed by the ox. Here, the force is given as 1000 Newton and the speed is equal to 30 meters per second. So, we can use the second equation, that is power is equal to force into velocity. Hence, the force is 1000, that is 1000 into 30, which is equal to 30,000 watts. So, 30,000 watts. This 10 raised to 3 can be taken as kilo because 10 raised to 3 prefix means kilo. So, we can write this as 30 kilowatts. I'll do one more question. The power of a motor is 40 kilowatts. At what speed can the motor rise a load of 20,000 Newton? Here, the power is given as 40 kilowatt. 40 kilowatt means 40,000 watts. And the load or the force is 20,000 Newton. So, we know that power is equal to force into velocity. Hence, velocity or speed is equal to power by force. Hence, it is 40,000 divided by 20,000, which is equal to 2 meters per second. The next concept is energy. The energy is the capacity to do work. The energy possessed by a body is measured by the amount of work that a body can perform. When a body does work, its energy decreases. While if work is done on the body, its energy increases. That means when we do work, our energy decreases and the work done on the body increases its energy. If we lift a bag to a height, the work done on the body, that means energy of the bag increases and our energy decreases. Energy is measured from the work done on the body. That means energy is equal to work done. Hence, the unit of energy is same as the unit of work done. Hence, the SI unit of energy is joule because joule is the unit of work. And the CJ system unit of energy is erg. We all know 1 joule is equal to 10 raised to 7 erg. Now, there are some other units related to energy. The first one is watt hour. One watt hour is the energy spent by a source of power 1 watt in 1 hour. Once again, the energy spent by a source of power 1 watt in 1 hour is called 1 watt hour. Another unit is kilowatt hour. The energy spent by a source of 1 kilowatt in 1 hour is called kilowatt hour. 1 watt hour is equal to 3600 joule and 1 kilowatt hour is equal to 3.6 into 10 raised to 6 joule. The next unit of energy is electron volt. Electron volt is a unit that is related to the energy of an atomic particle, and 1 electron volt is equal to 1.6 into 10 raised to minus 19 joule. These are the main units of energy. The SI unit is joule, CGS unit is erg, then 1 watt hour, 3600 joule makes 1 watt hour, then 1 kilowatt hour, 3.6 into 10 raised to 6 joule makes 1 kilowatt hour, and lastly electron volt, that is 1.6 into 10 raised to minus 19 joule. Now let's look what are the difference between energy and power. Energy of the body is the capacity to do work, and power of a source is the rate of doing work. Energy spent does not depend on time, but the power spent depends on time. The SI unit of energy is joule and the SI unit of power is watt. Hope you all understood all the concepts and numericals related to the first part. Thank you and have a nice day.